So I'm not crying. Not yet anyway. But I'll let you know what I think. And to see that they're leaving YouTube, oh man, I was gutted. But I am convinced that that field hates me. Good morning. Another beautiful day in paradise here in the woods. Today we're having a bit of a family day. In August it's nice for us just to have a day or two at the Woodlands family, and because we've now got the caravan and we've managed to get that all fixed up ready, we are going to do an overnight in the caravan, which is a bit of an adventure for us because me and Ellie Ray sometimes do an overnight in the little old Wendy house we've got round the corner, which is a tight squeeze and Karen's not up for that. So we're really quite looking forward to that. I know Ellie Ray is. There's blackberry picking going on, and then there'll be apple picking going on, and it's barbecue later. I think that's about it for today. Settle down for the night with a beer and a barbecue and an overnight in the caravan. Hey up Woodlanders, welcome back. Today is meant to be bank holiday and I've had to work it, but something just caught my eye and I wondered if it's a squirrel, because I've just seen a hazelnut debris and the squirrel is taunting me by eating my hazelnuts. Just been up to Kevin at Heartwood Woodland Group, bought some charcoal off them. Just got to quickly store this, get the 2-wheel tractor loaded up ready for tomorrow's job, and then I think tomorrow is meant to be mowing the field again, only I'm hoping, because it's not quite so long as last time, which was about 6 weeks ago-ish, that it will cope with it better than last time, because last time I ended up having to use my brush cutter to finish it off, which was a bit of a marathon. Brutal. That's one part done. Morning. It's kind of afternoon now. This morning's mission and this afternoon's mission is to get this field knocked off again. We're on with a flail mower today, which is good. The flail mower can just about cope with it. It's about 3 foot high, and we are making progress. More drama. Tyres come off, possibly due to not having enough PSIs in it, and me constantly turning has ripped the tyre off. Mowed over a wasp's nest, which is awesome. Thankfully they didn't sting me, but they did try and attack the tractor. I don't know why. I'm feeling this valve is torn. Oh, that is frustrating. So either get that repaired I've actually got a spare couple of wheels at the woodland, so I'm going to have to travel up the woodland now. A spare wheel, and now it's absolutely thrashing the rain. Totally fantastic. Oh, come on, don't fall off now. Absolutely soaked.
Oh, you know when you just want to give up. I just want to give up today.
I don't even know why I'm laughing anymore. Finally. Never forecast rain for today at all. It's meant to be white cloud all day. So, as Ellie tells me, never trust the weatherman. Suddenly take your coat if it's raining, bleed yourself. Got water in my eyes now. It's stinging as well. I don't know why. So I'm not crying. Not yet anyway. All done for today. I am soaked to the bone. But I am convinced that that field hates me. Last time I did it, the two-wheeler just couldn't cope with it. And so I had to do the whole field with the brush cutter. And this time, the two-wheeler, the wheel went flat. I keep thinking of ways to try and improve the situation now. The ideal scenario would be that field gets cut for hay, but the more I look at the slope and the rather random sort of, it's really up and down, I'm thinking I don't know whether a hay cutter would get in there. I'm kind of inclined towards fixing up my 4-foot flail that I've got up the woodland, which goes on the back of the tractor. I've never actually had it working. I bought it working and then never really did anything with it. So rather than spending any more money, I'm thinking I really ought to spend maybe 3 or 4 days doing a restoration on the flail, and then it would be better to do the field with a tractor, because then I wouldn't have to maul about with a two-wheeler. Two-wheelers are great, but perhaps not on an acre field. Oh my goodness. The council have been up and tarmac the road. This is insane. I can't believe this. Look at that. It's like the M42. Man, I can get some speed up down here now. What a highway. No tools jangling in the back. Today's plan is to cut all of the offcuts I've got at Hazel for charcoal production. Only it's not meant to be raining today, it's meant to be dry at the moment. So we'll get changed into our chainsaw equipment, fuel up the saw, and we'll make a start. We're just going to get wet today. Then the next job on the list is to mow the wildflower meadows, more bramble than wildflowers, and then all around the fruit trees as well. This is all part of the programme to try and get sorted before coppicing commences in October. I've got another couple of piles down the bottom end, which is difficult to describe really. So if we get a chance, we're going to try and get those done as well. It doesn't really take that long, but it's a fiddle. There's quite a pile there. That little job ticked off. I've run out of baskets. That one's about 2/3 full, so I haven't got another basket or baskets to go down the bottom end with, so it's pointless cutting it all and just leaving it on the floor and getting even wetter. And the next job is get the flail mower out. Last week we were on our holidays. Well, this year we went down to the Forest of Dean, and that place is called Moseley Green. There's a little pub next to it as well. We stayed there. There's a little cottage called Rosebank Cottage. If you're ever down that way, it's a stunning little cottage We've stayed in it 3 times now and we've booked again ready for next year. I'll leave a link in the description so you can find it. One of the best cottages we've ever stayed in. So that was rather nice. We had some really good weather.
Get on the Wye Valley on the canoes, to the beach one day, a bike ride, I went to a steam rally, went on lots of walks. Wenchford picnic spot, that's absolutely stunning. Go Ape as well.
Quite an adventure-filled holiday really, as it usually is. About 3 hours later, we have a bit of a result. I wouldn't say it's a lawn, but we have brambles bashed. It was a bit of a mess, there's still some stalks knocking about. That gave me a starting point. It was fairly heavy going, to be quite honest, but I'm glad it's done. I'm going to get off to another little job I've got to do, a little brush cutting job, hence the brush cutter on the roof. Morning. Got the moon in the background there, I don't know if you can see that. Last few days of holiday, isn't it? Summer holidays are coming to a close and it's one of the best summer days today. It's actually September, but it's blistering hot. And on the cars today you are...
What?
What are you doing?
Oh, I was planning to make a tail.
Oh yes, the tail out of wool.
Yeah.
That was it. And my job is to do a bird table lid thing. I'll explain that in a minute. I need to remember some numbers. 80, 50, 40, 30.
Okay.
This bird table lid is simply a case of 4 uprights, a bit of a frame across the top, a couple of slates, and then I could fit it on top of an existing bird table flat platform. It's just to keep the bird feeder dry because the rain gets in and it just wrecks all the bird seed. So that's for a lady just up the road, so we'll try and get this done pretty quick if I can. I think I'm getting somewhere now. Is it that 80? We've not done a One Word Wednesday for ages. If you've only just joined us, then you might be thinking, what on earth is this One Word Wednesday? Well, it was my attempt at trying to get you to express yourself in one word that kind of helps to identify your mood for that day. What it was to sort of highlight mental health and just to tell people how you feel without going into a rambling long sentence, a bit like I do, and trying to express it in one word. Some people do it as a percentage or a score out of 10. Anyway, I just thought I'd update you on where I'm at. I've had a pretty good summer actually. From a sort of mental health side of things have gone pretty well. I've done some jobs at home and got some things ticked off the lists, and kind of makes you feel a little bit better. But this morning was interesting because we went on holiday to the Forest of Dean last week, and normally I get a bit of holiday blues, but I didn't really get it this time. This morning I decided to edit the footage that we got from videos, photographs, and I put it together in a little holiday video that I put on my daughter's channel, Ellie Ray's channel. We've all got the YouTube link then, and we can always go and watch it when we like, but editing the video and putting music to it, oh man, proper like, oh no, holiday's over. I feel I'm down to sort of 4 out of 10 now. It's a kind of one of those Inside Out, if you've ever seen that movie. It's a happy sad moment where you're happy about it all, but you're sort of sad that it's over. And of course my daughter goes back to school in 2 days, so the summer holiday's over, time together comes to a close. So yeah, it's kind of got me all a little bit melancholy. So let me know how you're doing. Give us a one word for the week. I'll let you know mine in a minute when I've given it some thought. And just to see how you're doing, how's your summer been? It was our wedding anniversary as well yesterday, and some friends invited us over to Kedleston Hall, which is just the other side of Derby. Lovely place. We went there last year, but they said, why don't you come over for a picnic, join us, go around the hall, and we got free tickets to go in. That was spot on, that was. We had a fantastic afternoon picnic with you know, proper cheese and crackers and cake, and oh, it was lovely. So I think that's another thing that's got me going this morning. This is where we're at with it for a minute. I've got to put a few more screws in it at the moment. But that's the back, that's the front. I've just had to think of what my one word for the week is, and I think it might be change. And then the bird feeder that goes in there, because it's got a big dome thing that fits in there. And then on the top I've got to put some slate. And then when I go to put this on, this should just fit on. On to the next job, which is just finishing this little thing off. It's an engagement gift. Got to square up the edges, cut the end off, put some bevels on, give it a wax. That's next. And then after that, I've got to clear up, tidy up this. I want a tidy work zone. So I've got my barrels, that's for the sawdust. Do something with all that lot down there. I've got to decide what I'm doing. It's getting out of control. Morning. Just grabbing some of the last blackberries. With the sun we've had this week, it's been stunning this week, like 30 degrees nearly every day. It's helped to ripen the last few, but there's not many more on it now. I think the birds have had the best ones. What's your favourite fruit? You've got to tell me. I was watching a bit of YouTube last night. It's called the French Farmhouse Diaries. They've been incredibly supportive of me in the last few months, watching all my films, positive encouragement, and then they did a mention on their channel and asked all their supporters and their subscribers to come over and follow what I do. And honestly, it was absolutely crazy. We had about a 30% increase in subscribers, which was brilliant because it got us into the monetization zone on YouTube. Budo and Tracy, who watch this channel, hello Budo, hello Tracy, they replied to my comment and said that they're leaving YouTube. And honestly, I was mortified. And they do stunning work on this place. And to see that they're leaving YouTube, oh man, I was gutted. Honestly, gutted. I think I even lost sleep over it last night. I've yet to find out the full reason. If I ever find out the full reason, it's not to do with me really. But Budo and Tracy, if you're watching this particular video, I wish you all the best in whichever direction you go in. I hope you finish your farmhouse. I hope it's everything you wanted, and I hope one day that we can catch up in person together and let me have that oil recipe if you're willing to let me have it. But rest assured, you've broke my heart. This year I'm wondering if it's going to call it a mast year, because in this area of South Derbyshire we've had an abundance of acorns and really an abundance of hazelnuts. And these hazels here I planted about, let me think, about 8 or 9 years ago, and I coppiced them about 5 years ago, because they were doing quite well. I thought I'll just give them their first coppice cut. There was no product off the first cut, but it meant that hopefully the growth that returns then is a little bit straighter and encourages sort of multi-shoots rather than just a few. This is the first year they've ever put hazelnuts on. I think the squirrels have either yet to find them, or they're a little bit reticent about coming out into the open, because apparently squirrels don't like open space. So this, believe it or not, is the first ever hazelnut that wasn't quite fully ripe, but you can see they are starting to go brown now. And I've never eaten one of my own hazelnuts because the squirrel always gets them and usually decimates everything around about the 3rd week in August. And that's it, there's no hazelnuts left. And admittedly they bury them and then they germinate and grow, so not all is lost, but I never get to eat my own hazelnuts. Now I know that's a bit of a diddy one, and we're waiting on the cob nuts to mature, but I'll blame you on one thing. You can tell it's still a bit green. It'd be nice to be able to harvest all my own hazelnuts this year and not have to buy any. That's it. We're going to have some hazelnuts this winter. Yes. Well, I've been stung to death about 50 times, so my legs are buzzing. But look at the harvest. Some of them, they're just dripping with hazelnuts. Normally when I get them, I think, oh great, hazelnuts, awesome. And you open it up and there's nothing in it. And that's because I reckon the squirrel can smell it. Either that or he gets his knuckles and taps on it and like, nah, that's all, I'm not having that. There's a beautiful calm and peacefulness in the woodland today. It's actually about 28 degrees, although it doesn't probably look it on film. The sun's not really out, there's a humidity and a sort of a sweatiness to the atmosphere. Apologies for that, you don't really want to hear about sweatiness, do you? And then the next project is this area here. This is under the wings next to the container, the storage cabin. So inside we've got some old garage doors. We've got underneath this, like there's a couple of railway sleepers that have got come out. There's a pallet there that's not being used that's got come out. I think the plywood there can stay for now because it's in the dry. The tin sheets I think we might have to stay. What's those ones there? Let's just see how we get on. I've got all day. It's one of those days. Why didn't I buy myself a hammock? Get a book and drink tea and chillax. But I haven't, so I can't. And then I'd feel guilty for not actually doing anything up the woodland. But it would be nice to have one of those days where, oh, just enjoy what's around you rather than worrying about, I must do this and I must do that and I must get this done. I want to try and move the pallet, but I can't be bothered to take all the plywood off. That could be a golf with the swing like that. I can get the charcoal on there then. Bench is installed and I've managed just to prop the doors up there for now. I had all this fancy idea about perhaps hanging the doors in this space here, but my next job is some ash poles just there. Those ash poles, I've got to find 10 in amongst that lot, around about 3-inch diameter. keeper chap, he's coming tomorrow. This one's too thin. 10 of them. Sorted. Boy, it's hot now. And I have just about finished. I don't really know what I've finished. I kind of only just started, but we've got a little bit more accomplished today. Oh, I was going to pick some apples, wasn't I? I'll do that in a minute. And so, thanks for watching this woodlog. And if you're able to, enjoy the autumn. See you on the next one.
I've never seen you look so fast. Whoa! What is it, Bella? Wow! Wow, I want to do that.
That's cool, isn't it, that is? If you're new, if you've only just joined, if you've only just joined us, if you've only